Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to discuss trends and chemical properties of alkali metal or group 1A. Now we will study in this topic of FSC part 2, number 1 reaction with water, reaction with oxygen, and in this category we will study the reaction of oxides with water and the reaction of oxides with dilute acids. The third reaction is reaction with chlorine. Fourth, effect of heat on nitrates. Fifth, effect of heat on carbonates. Sixth, effect of heat on bicarbonates or hydrogen carbonates, and the seventh is flame test. First is reaction with water. Alkali metals act as strong reducing agents. Reducing agents are those substances which reduce the other substance and during the process get themselves oxidized. That is why when alkali metals react with water, they reduce water to liberate hydrogen gas and in the process are oxidized to produce metal hydroxides. The reaction can be written in steps as a metal loses an electron and is oxidized to M positive ion in aqueous solution. On the other hand, a water molecule accepts one electron and is reduced to produce hydrogen gas, to liberate hydrogen gas, and hydroxyl ions are produced. The overall reaction will be, we add the two reactions to get the overall reaction, M solid metal plus H2O liquid to produce MOH aqueous plus half H2 gas. For example, sodium Na plus H2O, we get NaOH aqueous solution. Sodium reacts with water to produce sodium hydroxide and liberate hydrogen gas. During the process, the metals are oxidized, and according to electrochemical series, when we move down the series from lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, when we move down the group, the oxidation potential of these elements increase, which means that these elements are more easily oxidized as we move down the group, or in other words, they will reduce water more effectively as we move down the group. That is why the reactivity of these elements with water increases down the group. For example, lithium, which is present at top of the group, reacts less rapidly with water. Sodium, which is present below lithium, explodes in water. It reacts explosively with water. And potassium catches fire in water. Thus it shows that as we move down the group, the reactivity of the elements increases, and the reason is that according to electrochemical series, the oxidation potential of these elements increase down the group. Second reaction is reaction with oxygen. Alkali metals react with oxygen burn in oxygen to produce three types of oxides. Alkali metals react with oxygen or burn in oxygen to produce three types of oxides. Number one, first type is known as normal oxides. These are the oxides which have the general formula M2O, 2 metal 1 oxygen. For example, lithium solid lithium plus oxygen, it produces lithium oxide, Li2O. We balance the equation, 2Li2O, 4Li, 4Li, 4 lithium plus O2 from air. We ignite, we burn the element and we get lithium oxide. Similarly, sodium, 4Na plus O2, we get at room temperature this reaction takes place and we get Na2O, sodium oxide. So lithium and sodium produce normal oxides having the general formula Li2O and Na2O. The second type of oxides which are formed by these elements by alkali metals are known as peroxides having the general formula M2O2, in which the ratio of metal and oxygen is 2:2 or 1:1. Here in case of normal oxide the ratio is 2:1 or 1:1/2. In this case the oxygen is 2:2, ratio of metal and oxygen is 2:2 or 1:1. And examples of such oxides are sodium peroxide. Sodium forms peroxide and the reaction is 2Na solid plus O2 gas, ignite, sodium burns in oxygen with a golden yellow flame to produce sodium peroxide. We get sodium peroxide. Sodium oxide and sodium peroxide are white solids. The third type of oxides are known as superoxides. Superoxides having the general formula MO2. One metal and two oxygens. Examples are potassium superoxide. The reaction will be K plus O2, K solid plus O2 gas, ignite, we burn the metal and we get KO2, potassium superoxide. Similarly, by a similar reaction we can get rubidium superoxide, RbO2, and we can get cesium superoxide, CSO2. The peroxides and superoxides, they are strong oxidizing agents. Peroxides and superoxides are strong oxidizing agents. Now if we consider, as we move from normal oxide to peroxide to superoxides, the ratio of oxygen, the percentage of oxygen increases. For example, in normal oxides we have one metal combines with half oxygen. In peroxides one metal atom combines with one oxygen, and in superoxide one metal combined with two oxygens. So we can say that as we move down the group, the ability of metals to combine with oxygen increases. Thus the capacity of elements to combine with oxygen increases down the group. Now these oxides can react with water as well as they can react with acids. In the second topic, which is the formation of oxides, we study the reaction of oxides with water. All the alkali metal oxides, they react with water and produce hydroxides, which are actually bases. For example, sodium oxide, which is a normal oxide, it reacts with water to produce sodium hydroxide. Lithium oxide reacts with water and it produces lithium hydroxide. Peroxides like sodium peroxide, it reacts with water to produce sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen peroxide. Similarly, potassium superoxide, KO2, it reacts with water to produce potassium hydroxide plus hydrogen peroxide plus O2. As these metal oxides, they react with water and produce hydroxides, which are strong bases. That is why these oxides are also known as basic anhydrides. Anhydrides mean compounds without water which react with water and produce bases. Now the second aspect of oxides is that they can react with dilute acids and produce salts. The second case is the reaction of oxides with dilute acids. Alkali metals react with dilute acids to produce salts. For example, alkali metal oxides react with dilute acids to produce salts. For example, if we have sodium oxide plus 2HCl dilute in which there is greater amount of water, we get 2NaCl, sodium chloride plus water. Similarly, sodium peroxide plus 2HCl, we get 2NaCl plus H2O2. Potassium superoxide react with HCl or acid to produce potassium chloride plus hydrogen peroxide plus oxygen. So all the oxides of alkali metals, they react with dilute acids to produce salts. Third reaction is reaction of alkali metals with chlorine. Third reaction is a reaction with chlorine. Alkali metals, they react with chlorine. The alkali metals react with chlorine to produce salts which are known as metal chlorides. For example, sodium 2Na solid reacts with chlorine gas upon ignition or heating. It burns, sodium burns in chlorine with an orange flame to produce a white solid which is solid sodium chloride. Similarly, potassium reacts with chlorine upon heating to produce potassium chloride. So, alkali metals react with chlorine to produce chlorides. Fourth reaction is the effect of heat on nitrates. Alkali metal nitrates upon heating decompose to produce metal nitrite and liberate oxygen gas, except lithium nitrate, which does not behave in this way. For example, when sodium nitrate is heated to NaNO3 solid, when we heat sodium nitrate, we get sodium nitrite and oxygen gas. We get 2NaNO2 solid, sodium nitrite plus O2 gas. Similarly, when we heat potassium nitrate, it is decomposed to potassium nitrite and oxygen gas. Lithium nitrate is slightly different from rest of the group because it is general trend that first member of each group slightly differ in properties from rest of the members of the group due to different polarizability. When lithium nitrate is heated, it produces lithium oxide plus NO2, nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen gas, 4LiNO3 2Li2O, lithium oxide, 4NO2 plus O2. We get lithium oxide, nitrogen dioxide or nitrogen peroxide or oxygen gas, and this reaction of lithium nitrate is slightly different from rest of the nitrates of group 1A. The fifth reaction is effect of heat on carbonates. When alkali metal carbonates are heated, they are stable to heat, they do not decompose, they just melt without decomposition. For example, when sodium carbonate is heated, solid sodium carbonate is heated, it does not undergo decomposition, rather it changes into a liquid, it melts. They undergo melting without any decomposition. The sixth property is effect of heat on bicarbonates. When alkali metal bicarbonates are heated, they decompose. When alkali metal bicarbonates are heated, they decompose and produce carbonates and liberate carbon dioxide gas and also produce water. Let us consider the case of sodium bicarbonate, 2NaHCO3 solid. When it is heated, it produces sodium carbonate plus carbon dioxide plus water. When we move down the group, stability of bicarbonates increase. Stability of bicarbonates increases down the group, which means that as we move down the group, the bicarbonates will become more stable, and the reason is why the stability increases down the group. The reason is that the polarizing power of the metal decreases down the group, and polarizing power or polarizability, polarizing power is the ratio between ionic charge and ionic radius. We know that ionic radius increases down the group. That is why the polarizing power will decrease, and as the polarizing power of metal ions decrease, the stability of bicarbonates will increase. So when we move down the group from lithium ion to sodium ion to potassium ions, the polarizing power of these ions decreases, and polarizing power is inversely related to stability. So when the polarizing power decreases, the stability of the bicarbonates will increase down the group. The last property of alkali metals is the flame test. When alkali metals or their salts are subjected to flame, they impart characteristic color to flame. For example, sodium and its salts, sodium chloride or sodium nitrate or sodium sulfate or sodium phosphate, they impart a golden yellow color to flame. Potassium and its salts impart a lilac or violet color to flame, and cesium and its salts, they impart blue color to flame. This test is called flame test. From color of the flame, we can identify the metal. Flame test can be used for identification of alkali metals like sodium, potassium or cesium. Now practically we perform this test in such a way that first of all we take a china dish. It is a china dish. We take little HCl, concentrated HCl, take a platinum wire. It is the platinum ring or platinum wire. If we have no platinum wire, then we can use a glass rod instead. Now this platinum wire is first of all cleaned by dipping in concentrated HCl and heating in the flame, so that if any impurities are present on the platinum wire, these impurities are removed and this platinum wire imparts no color to the flame. Now after cleaning the platinum wire, we take another china dish. We take HCl in the china dish, concentrated HCl, and we dissolve the given salt, given alkali metal salt in HCl to form a paste, so that the salt forms a paste in HCl. We get a paste of the compound, paste of the salt in HCl. Then by means of platinum wire, we take some of this paste on the platinum wire which was already cleaned and heat it in the flame, place it in the flame. We take the compound and heat it in the flame. Notice the compound which is taken on the platinum wire, we heat it on the flame so that it imparts a color to the flame. A color will be given to the flame, and from this color we identify the element. Therefore flame test is important test to identify elements like sodium, potassium or cesium. Allah Hafiz.